I prayed to the Blackmagic gods for three things, only three things I wanted in this new Pocket camera that was coming out. And let me tell you, Blackmagic Design delivered. For any of you guys that are new here or haven't seen some of my older videos, you will come to find out that I absolutely love Blackmagic Design, not just for their editors. I absolutely love DaVinci Resolve. As you can see, I have a plethora of editor tutorials that you guys can watch, link in the description below, but I love all of their cameras. Blackmagic does have some quirks to every camera that comes out. There's always something about it. Some cons, maybe the build's not as good, maybe it doesn't do one thing when all the other cameras do this, but 9 out of 10 times, if it's coming in with something with a little bit of a quirk, it's got stuff that will blow the competition out of the water, especially at the price point. Now, before we get too far in this, I am gonna say this is just my opinions, this is my thoughts. We're just gonna be talking about this camera, so before you blow it up in the comments being like, oh my God, you're such a dick, I hate Blackmagic, I don't, you got the specs wrong, settle down. Let's dive into the things that excite me about this camera, starting with number one that I've been asking for. It was top of my list. I wanted this above everything else if the camera didn't change at all, and that's built-in NDs. I've been wanting built-in NDs for so long on this baby cinema camera that it is. For a lot of us, we're used to just screw-on NDs that go on the outside of the glass, and that works fine, especially if you're using hybrid cameras that are photo and video, or using like a Sony a7S III. Now, for some of us, we're coming from cinema cameras, so we're used to having some of these things in it, like built-in NDs, for example, and we want that to be in our other cameras. Again, before you blow up in the comments below, I understand the difference from a hybrid camera and a cinema camera, but this thing is basically named a pocket cinema camera, so it should have a lot of cinema camera features in it, and it has. The original 2 has had some amazing features built into it that no other camera had other than a cinema camera at ridiculous more expensive prices, but there were some things that was missing. Built-in NDs was one of those at the top of my list. For any of you guys that have been in run-and-gun situations, maybe you film weddings, maybe you're filming corporate commercials and you're in an environment where you're gonna be resetting up and changing things quickly, or you're shooting interviews outside, whatever the environment is, you understand how big ND filters make a difference. So having built-in NDs on it to be able to just quickly just push a button, boom, you're done, ready to go. That is a game changer. I've been wanting that for so long, and I'm so glad they put that in there. The second thing that was on my list that I was praying to God for was better battery life. Now, again, I'm used to rigging this thing up, as probably most of you are that own a Pocket cinema camera. I'm majority of the time running it off a V-mount, or if I'm shooting videos like this or a long interview, I'm just gonna plug the AC power in and not worry about it whatsoever. However, if there's just those quick run and gun shots that I need to shoot specifically for a YouTube video, and I want the B-roll to match my A-roll, and I want the color science to be identical to it, or just have RAW being able to do that, having better battery life is a huge deal, because the little batteries that are in these, the Canon, I don't even know what the name of them are, the Canon trash batteries, they are okay batteries, it just can't handle a camera that can do some of these features. So now that they jump to a different battery that's a lot bigger, I greatly prefer. Again, it's probably not gonna come anywhere close to a V-mount or anything like that. However, if it's giving me an extra 15, 20, even 30 minutes, that would be amazing to just have realistically an hour, if not 45 minutes, to have just quickly run and gun pickup shots. That's all I want in that little battery. And again, they sell their little battery attachment on the bottom, the grip, that is coming in under $150, and you can put 2 more batteries in that thing. I'm curious to see some real world testing to see how it stacks up, of course, and how long it really lasts. However, it is very exciting, and it's always an improvement when you're moving in the right direction with battery life. The third thing that was on my I really want this list was a better screen or a tilting screen, and they put that in there. They basically took what Tilted did with the built-on screen. I'm a very tall guy. If I want to drop down low and get a shot, I'm basically shooting it blind, or I'm having to lay completely on the ground to see that. So being able to have the screen that can tilt up or down is awesome. Plus, a huge bonus, which has always bothered me about their built-in screens on the back, is now it is 1500 nits brightness. I'm using an Atomos Shinobi on top of my camera majority of the time, and when I'm outside it works phenomenal, and it's 1,000 nits. So having something that's even 500 nits over, being able to be outside if you're filming a wedding or in direct sunlight and you need to be able to see your screen to adjust some things, that is a huge deal. Of course, there's other things like the 5th generation color science, which I think is awesome. Plus, they're bringing that to the original 2 pocket cameras. They tend to throw the industry upside down by giving you more than you need. They take the Canon approach, but do the exact opposite. Instead of taking stuff away, they give you more stuff, like even giving you DaVinci Resolve, the studio license, which will last you every upgrade unless they change it somewhere in the future. I don't see them doing that honestly ever, but you know, don't take my word 100% for it, but they're giving you that DaVinci Resolve Studio license for free when you buy their cameras. The last thing I'm excited about before I get on to some of the things I don't really like about the camera is I love that they actually implemented 4K RAW recording in the 6K camera. For many of you guys that don't know, the Pocket 4K could, you know, film obviously 4K RAW with their RAW codec, and the 6K version can record up to 6K RAW. But for some reason, you could not record 4K RAW in the 6K camera. I'm not 100% sure if this new version that's going to have 4K RAW in the 6K, so you can shoot up to 6K or you can drop to 4K. I'm not 100% sure if there's going to be a crop or not. I am glad they implemented it, because if I ever wanted to shoot in 4K and have a nice high quality, I normally just went over to ProRes, which is a great codec, but again, it's not giving me that raw flexibility that I like about Blackmagic's RAW. Let's talk about the bad. There's only a few things that I don't like about this camera. Number one, it is the ugliest mother camera I have ever seen in my life. This thing is hideous looking. The original Pocket 4K and 6K were not that good looking to begin with, and then it just looked like this mated with a, you know, 1DX or something. I don't know, you got this hybrid looking weird thing. Again, I like that it's got a grip on it, but it's not a hybrid camera, so I don't really know why they're staying in the same field as that. My thoughts is they probably just went with a little bit of a safer bet, just making it bigger and building on it. I do like that it's got nice venting and everything, just like the original 2. However, I think it's freaking hideous looking, and I hate the look of it, but it shoots amazing footage. Another thing is I would honestly like to see them put SDI in one of these Pocket Cinema cameras. With this being a pro camera, I would like to see an SDI option. I do understand that it's gonna make the size bigger, but you already made this thing a freaking hippopotamus, so you might as well just make it a little bit bigger and put an SDI port on it. I would love to see that in another Pocket style camera. The last thing I don't like about this camera is its Super 35. Now hear me out before this is actually a con, because it's kind of a pro and a con. I understand that Blackmagic basically does Super 35 is what they're used to. That's what majority of cinema cameras are, that Super 35. However, there is a big push going on now for full frame, and I would love to see them do a full frame. I personally, and I think I even mentioned it in a video last year or the year before, I'm not 100% sure, saying that I do think down the road they will bring out a full frame camera. Full frame is not for everyone, and there's a lot of people that like Super 35. And again, one of the reasons they may be going with Super 35 is because A, they perfected it, it's still got the dual ISO that they're used to, and they can sell it to their customers and know they're not spending a crap load on full frame glass. Because that is one thing that I absolutely hate about full frame, is you go from Super 35 like crop sensor cameras, buying that kind of glass, and you jump to full frame glass, the price is double. I understand there's more glass in it and it's got to be able to cover a bigger sensor. However, if you're ever going to jump into full frame, be prepared to drop a lot of money on full frame glass. This camera is coming in at $2,500, which is an absolute steal for what this thing is. I will be picking one of these up. It'll probably be a couple months just because I don't really have all the money that I need to pick this up right now. Gotta eat, gotta feed the family. However, if you want to help me get this camera faster, there are some links in the description below to purchase some of my packs on my store, or even just support the channel. I'm not gonna tell you if this camera is right for you or not. You have to make that decision amongst every other piece of gear there is. However, if it was me and I was coming from a 6K pocket camera, I don't know if I'd upgrade unless I needed just another camera, and it would be like, make that be my A camera, and then the original 6K could be the B camera or whatever. If you're coming from a 4K like I am, that's a pretty big jump up, and I think you will definitely see the benefits from going from one to the other. That's enough of me rambling today. That's just my thoughts, my opinions on the Blackmagic Pocket 6K Pro. If you guys hadn't heard about it, hadn't seen it, or just wanted to read up, this isn't reading, this is watching a video. If you're like me and you get excited about something, you want to hear everyone's thoughts and opinions. So that's really what we're just doing today, diving into it. They just announced it today, so I had to film this, give you my reactions, and be like, this is what it is. I don't know what that is, I'm so sorry. If you guys like this video, give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below, let me know your thoughts on the Pocket Camera 6K Pro. At least it's a little bit better of a name. We could just call it the 6K Pro for short instead of the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K or 6K. That's a mouthful, that's what she said. Give me a thumbs up, drop a comment below, subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell. You guys are amazing. I'm the Iron Giant. I'll see you next time. Peace.